So I was reading my comments on YouTube and somebody asked me this. They said, "What's your thoughts on Judaism and the Old Testament? Do you think Jesus was talking about the Jewish God? I never thought it was the same God, but recently learned about Gnosticism and it has confirmed my suspicions. Still not sold entirely on Gnosticism though." Now, from what I did, just limited research, I don't know what that word, never heard of it before, but it's basically a collection of spiritual religious beliefs and ideas kind of put together. Like you have beliefs in them, and I thought, whoa, that kind of sounds like new age spirituality, because you kind of, I remember in theology when I studied it at A level, we spoke about, religion being a cafeteria of buffets in this kind of more secular world. But that was before. I think there's a resurgence, especially coming to Christianity. But a buffet of religions and people just taking ideas of what they want to choose and what they want to believe in. So most people's, spiritual beliefs can be rooted in, things like Christianity. But this person is saying, asking a question, what do you think about Judaism and the Old Testament? It's almost trying to separate the two when asking, do you think Jesus was talking about the same God? I mean, what's your response to that? Because when I first read it, need to obviously do more studies on this, but just reading it, the main point is that in Judaism they reject Christ. They reject Christ. I accept Christ, but I don't reject the Old Testament. The God Jesus is talking about in the New Testament is the same as the one in the Old Testament. Now, in Judaism, they read and they have that Torah, they read the Old Testament. However, the difference is that their acceptance and their knowledge and of who God is very limited. So in turn, they're rejecting Christ. It's almost like we're rejecting God because in the same essence as Islam, they accept Christ, but they don't believe that Christ is God. Therefore, your understanding of God is not sufficient. It is not true and is not accurate. Because to accept God, especially if you're in Judaism or Islam, you need to accept that Christ is God to fully have the grasp of God, who really God really is. So let me know what your thoughts are about that on that question, and if you've heard of Gnosticism before, if you understand it better than what I just said, then please put it in the comments, because I'm sure people would love to just understand more about that.